We have a legend here with us, an absolute legend, the most accomplished, one of the most accomplished players in the history of sports. Super Bowl champion, all-pro, career rushing leader, Emmitt Smith is joining us today, man.
What's up? What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing well, my brother. Your Dallas Cowboys have seemed to simplify things in their head coaching search. They've got Schottenheimer in as the head coach. There was a search that a lot of people were paying attention to. The Cowboys still are the #1 box office event in the NFL. How do you feel about the way the head coaching search went in Dallas and who they picked?
Well, I thought we probably should have went with a defensive head coach, a guy that can bring in some toughness up front for the defense as well as the offensive line. I still think we need to upgrade our offensive line. I'm pretty comfortable with the running backs that we actually have. Even though we did release Zeke, I still thought Zeke had some tread on the tires left. But to me, I think there's a bigger problem. I think the problem is the disconnect between the vision and the operations of the organization. You know, when I think about my Cowboys, and I'm gonna say my Cowboys because they're my team. I don't own them, but there's my team. And I think about how the team was actually built in the 90s and how it began. It began with a clear vision and a clear vision for the operations component, because you could talk about branding, you could talk about all of the sales and television and everything else, but what drives a lot of these things is what happens on the football field.
Yeah.
And what happened on the football the last couple of years, or the last 30 years, if you want to say that, is the illusion of having great teams, which sells tickets.
Right.
But it doesn't get you back to the big dance. And I think our Cowboys just need to get back to the main thing and find a way to establish a balanced attack, put Dak Prescott in position to be a very successful, very consistent quarterback, and give him a chance to have a long career as a Dallas Cowboy, and find a way to run the football and throw the football effectively.
It seems like a lot of parts of the fan base and a lot of parts of sports culture in general have lost faith in Dak Prescott as the quarterback of the Cowboys. Have you lost faith?
I haven't, because I know in my mind that he has not been put in the right situation to where he's been put in a situation where he has to carry everything. And that is based off of what the offensive coordinators are calling. He has not been given the authority to run whatever plays he wants, and he's never had that authority, in my opinion. Now, he can always change a play, but what is he going to change to? Either he's given 2 plays or he's given 1 play, and he has to change to something very simple. For me, I think there isn't a commitment to who they really want. We don't have an identity. That's the problem. We don't have an identity, and if we do have an identity, it's an identity of throwing the football, RPOs here and there, and that is not going to work for us. It's just not. It hasn't worked for us in the past, and it's not going to work for us going forward. Dak Prescott is not that kind of RPO quarterback. He's not a Lamar Jackson. He's not a Patrick Mahomes. He's not a Josh Allen, and that doesn't mean he's not as good as those guys. He can be very good. Dak has had...
Do you think he's as good as those guys?
He has had as great of years as some of those guys. Patrick Mahomes has tremendous years. Tremendous years. What makes him so exciting? He wins a lot of games. Period. It's not like he's throwing for 300 or 400 yards every week.
All right.
But he's doing enough to get his team in a position to win games. And that's what makes him excellent.
Were you on the Coach Prime bandwagon to come coach the Cowboys?
I was all in support of Prime becoming a Dallas Cowboy coach. My question to myself was, does he really want to do that? Does he really want to come coach a bunch of grown men in the locker room that talk back to coaches? You know what I'm saying? I mean, in college, you can take a scholarship.
Yeah.
You can't just take a contract.
Right.
You know, and plus in college, I think Prime finds more pleasure and more joy in helping young men become the best version of themselves. And at this level, you got guys that, you know, they make a ton of money. They hear you, they look you in the eyes, but nothing really registers.
Right.
And they move on by their business. And then they go do what they want to do anyway. And not only that, but then they get to talk about whatever they want to talk about these days.
Yeah.
So at the collegiate level, I think he has coached kids and helped kids grow into grown men. Mm-hmm. Instilled in them a level of value and a level of work ethic that's warranted. And I think he's doing a great job at Colorado and can do a great job at the National Football League level if he chose to come there.
Do you know the exact amount of rushing yards you have for a career?
Yeah.
What's the number?
18,355.
Insane.
Zip code. All that adds up to 22.
Oh.
All that adds up to 22.
Serendipitous. Now let me ask you this. With the way that the game is now and the emphasis on the passing game, mm-hmm. you might actually have one of the most unbreakable records in sports. That career rushing yards total, just with the way the game is evolving, right, might never be touched, even with the extra game. How do you feel about that? Would you want to see the game progress where someone eventually breaks your record? Or are you one of the guys that's like, I want to be the career rushing leader forever?
You know, I've learned a long time ago, records are made to be broken. And if they are being broken, they've been broken for a reason, because somebody worked their behind off to get to that level. Mm-hmm. Walter Payton blessed me and gave me permission to go get the record. And the reason why he did, because he knew how difficult it would be to get there. Mm-hmm. And so I know how difficult it will be to get there. But if someone is fortunate enough to get to that point, I want to be blessed by God to be here on the planet to see it happen, so I can embrace that person, because I understand how difficult it is to get there. So many things have to be in alignment. And you just talked about the way the game is today. There isn't quite that alignment, because there's not really a commitment to run the football unless you in Saquon Barkley situation with the Philadelphia Eagles, to where they are relying on him to run the football. Derrick Henry has been given the rock.
Yeah.
And so there hasn't been a real true commitment to running the ball the way we used to run the ball. And that's part of the problem why some guys might not get there. But Derrick Henry, he's already over 10,000 yards. So he's in a situation with Lamar Jackson to where longevity, he could possibly get there. Saquon Barkley is on his way. And if he can maintain the consistency with this offense and have the players stay intact and stay healthy for a long period of time in this kind of offense, it's a possibility he can get there. Mm-hmm. He can rush for another 2,000 yards next year in this kind of offense.
Right.
Barry Sanders would have rushed for 3,000. And the way that they tackle, I could have rushed for 4,000. So nobody's really tackling anybody these days. And the way the league, the flag systems are coming out, we're getting extra plays and extra downs and all that kind of stuff.
You really think you could have gone for 4,000?
Hell no. I'm just tripping. I'm just exaggerating.
I thought we had one.
I'm just exaggerating. I'm just simply saying. But there's a possibility somebody could have rushed for over 2,500 yards. And that could have been a Barry Sanders guy.
Right.
I mean, I'd rather have longevity and consistency, averaging 1,500 yards a season, than to have 2,000 here, 1,000 here, or 900 and missing games and stuff like that. No, be consistent.
Last question for you, Emmitt. And thank you so much, Emmitt Smith. He's here with TabloTV.com. Go check it out. You talked a little bit earlier about the brand of the Cowboys.
Right.
I'm 44 years old, okay? I was 16 years old the last time the Dallas Cowboys won the Super Bowl. I'd never forget it. Growing up right there in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, everybody had Cowboys gear on. It was, how about them Cowboys, and all of that stuff like that. The Cowboys have remained relevant as a brand.
Right.
But really haven't been as relevant as a winning, dominant franchise. Maybe the most, actually, they are the most valuable brand in American sports.
Yes, sir.
Would you rather the Cowboys, and you alluded to this earlier, be less valuable as a brand and be more of a winning and dominant team? Or is the way that Jerry is running his organization right now actually the blueprint to modern American sports ownership? Meaning the star is more important than the Lombardi Trophy. What's more important?
I think you can do both. I think you can do both. If the Cowboys are the #1 franchise in all the sports, without winning another Super Bowl for the past 30 years, and still is that, and still growing, imagine if they won 3 more Super Bowls. Imagine how much more valuable they would be if they won 3 more Super Bowls. Because the attention that they're getting right now and everything that everyone is talking about, they can talk about bad news is still good news all they want to. But when people are picking at that brand and tugging at that brand negatively, it becomes a turnoff. It can reverse head on you, and you can become the worst talked about organization. Yeah, you can say value, but then the question is, what's important to him? Is it that, or is it the Lombardi trophies? You're gonna make money, but making money cannot be the answer to everything. Winning and making money brings happiness to everybody. And it cleans up so much of the BS. And being a Hallmark organization, to me, the way I see business itself, forgetting the football, the way I see business, we talk about best practices, but Jerry led with best practices in the 90s by leading the league and ushering the league into the era that it's in right now, by ushering in the thought of a brand new stadium and what a brand new stadium can look like, which also inspired other owners to want brand new stadiums.
Sure.
And creating new television contracts. The branding aspect of it. He's done that for everybody. He's increased revenue for everybody. But now he needs to look inward, and say, what do I need to do to get my team back to holding that Lombardi trophy? And that, once he answered that question, then I think the brilliance of the man could be appreciated on a global basis versus just on a singular basis right now.
Emmitt is joining us on behalf of Tablo. If you're looking for a way to watch the big game or sports, you've got a device, you've got to check out Tablo. It's a device that lets you watch, pause, and record live TV without a subscription. Visit Tablo.com for more details.
Yeah, TabloTV.com. It is the device that affords you all of those opportunities. And the great thing about it is you just pay one time to buy the device. You get it hooked up, connected into your Wi-Fi, and you can actually connect it to all your TVs in the house. And so, like you said, all the sports, different channels. You can get over 300, 400, 500 channels and watch local TV and everything else all on one device and not have to pay a subscription fee, other fees, and all those kind of things. You know, most TVs, you got to download this app, that app, and everything else, and you're paying like $300, $400, $500 a month for subscriptions.
And you got 3, 4, 5 different passwords.
Exactly. This is not like that. It's different. We're simplifying things and bringing things under one roof.
Yeah. Actually, I got one more thing for you. Have you ever seen the movie Black Panther before?
Yes, I have. Wakanda for life.
Wakanda for life, exactly. What do you think about what's been going on Twitter? There's some talk that maybe Michael Irvin will actually play Black Panther in the next Marvel movie. Have you seen this on Twitter?
No.
Yeah, well, there are some people. There's a grassroots Twitter campaign to have the playmaker himself, Michael Irvin, play Black Panther in the next Black Panther movie. What do you think about Michael Irvin as Black Panther?
He is black.
That's Emmitt Smith. That's Emmitt Smith.